think I might prefer him. And I do love Robert Pattinson in this movie. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I really want to see Ben Affleck again. And then I thought, I bet Ben Affleck's really sad because a lot of people are going to go see this movie. And then I thought of Sad Affleck.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Why Are You Still Here? You know
The
what
show
we're gonna
where we talk about whatever. And today,
yeah,
ding, ding,
you know what
ding.
we're gonna be talking about today, and that's
The Batman.
Look at that. Look at that bat symbol. Don't look at it too closely. It's not very good. So yeah, we're talking about the Batman, and this is going to be the quick non-spoiler review of the movie, just in case there is anybody out there that has yet to see the movie yet, which I think there's like maybe 5 of you at this point. But
Yes.
yeah, so we both got a chance to see the movie a little bit early, right? I saw it Tuesday. You saw it yesterday, Wednesday. And it was an experience. And
yes, it was the Batman.
Which, side note, that was Ben Affleck's title. You probably don't know that, but
Sad Affleck.
That was the title for his movie that he wrote the script to. It was.
I was thinking about
the Batman.
I was thinking about him a lot during this.
I was thinking about him far too much during this movie.
You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
We're not done with Ben Affleck, obviously. We have the Flash still, but
okay.
Yeah, so you got to see it in the Dolby surround sound, yes?
Yes, and I'll mention later on my favorite part of the movie. Enhanced probably is my favorite part because of the Dolby experience. Totally awesome.
Mm-hmm. I got to see it. First off, I had to drive like 40 minutes away to see it in IMAX, which was awesome to see it in IMAX, but it was the tiny little old school seats where you're sharing an armrest that is this big, this wide. So you're literally on top of other people. So I made friends with the guy next to me.
Well, that's good.
So, he did not want to talk to me at all at first, but I kept talking to him because I'm literally laying on him, and not my choice. There's, it's either one person's laying on the other, that's the way it works with those old seats. I forgot how bad that is. And eventually he started talking back to me, and we had a real good Batman discussion.
Nice.
And,
so we're about to have a good Batman discussion.
Yeah, probably not as good as that guy, but yeah. So
the Batman 2022 starring Robert Pattinson.
I was given a comic book by AMC, and it's the Long Halloween, which I have things to say about that in the spoiler review, and a ticket, which Lucas doesn't even know what that is anymore at this point. So but I got a ticket, and I asked the guy about it because it was a guy that that scanned the QR code in my phone. And I said, "Can I get a physical ticket?" And he said, "I'd have to go behind the desk to do that for you." And I said, "Thank you." He was not happy,
nice.
But he did it. And yeah, so we got to see this movie. Again, it's called The Batman, right?
Yep,
Everybody knows that.
Batman.
Yes, and it was written by Matt Reeves, a gloriously accomplished director.
Yeah, and I'll give him a shout out for this well-made, good-looking movie.
Yes. So it stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Colin Farrell. That's why I say to Colin Farrell. Jeffrey Wright, John Turturro, and Andy Serkis, right? So if you saw the trailers, in general what the movie's about.
Yeah,
it's a detective story. It involves the Riddler. The Riddler surfaces. He's killing people, and Batman basically has to get to the bottom of it with the help of Jim Gordon, right? They work together, and it's like
a
murder mystery
story,
crime drama,
but a very dark murder mystery Batman crime drama story. I think we're just going to give our general thoughts for the movie, and then we're going to move right into the spoiler part. We'll just take care of it quickly. Overall, it was a very entertaining movie. I was very rarely bored. The cast, every single person pretty much knocked it out of the park. Very good job with what they were given. Robert Pattinson has a very good portrayal. Some characters are very standout. I didn't look up the IMDb list for this movie. I didn't watch all the trailers. I didn't know that Colin Farrell was the Penguin until I saw the movie, and then I was watching something about it online, and I just was fucking floored. He got into that makeup and just became this Penguin mob boss. He was so good at it. His accent was on point as hell.
Oh, take it easy, sweetheart.
Yeah, I love the way the prosthetics look, because instead of just being like the goofy long nose and like the stringy hair looking like a little weird witch, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Still kind of had that look, but in a realistic way.
Yeah, it was
from
realistic.
A distance. It looked so good. This is the best Penguin I've ever seen. Not that he's, stand out to me in a lot of things, but I just really enjoyed Colin Farrell in this movie.
I agree.
I have to say, and I mean, all the cast did a damn good job. I really wish there was more Andy Serkis in this, though. I think Alfred was way too underutilized in this movie. That's just my thought, but
I agree. Yes. So Colin Farrell was great. I knew, obviously, Colin Farrell was the Penguin before this movie even started filming. I have to throw this out there that I'm a little surprised I haven't seen anybody mention it, and maybe because they haven't been following it maybe as closely as I have, but there was some pictures that surfaced when this movie first started filming a couple years ago, and it showed Colin Farrell as being like the Emperor Penguin, which is, a version of Penguin in the comic books that's skinny and has like white hair. And he's like the head crime boss almost kind of thing. Like he's the Emperor, the Emperor Penguin, which is also a type of penguin.
yeah.
As well. And
funny.
it's just the way, that he looks. And there was like these pictures that came from set where it was Colin Farrell with white hair. You can actually see him leaving set in one of these pictures. And again, this was like the first week of filming. And he's like going and grabbing a coffee or something. And he has his white hair and a mustache. And it's like, So I don't know if they decided to just scrap that and go with this other version, which I'm happy they
love
did.
it. It looks great.
But it was just such a shock to me that mostly, not that they changed it, because I can see why they would. It's just a shock to me that nobody has brought that up. And I will put those pictures in there unless they've been destroyed by Warner Brothers, that shows when he was going to be playing this other version of the character. So
great job, Colin Farrell. So it's a very, very dark Batman movie. It's I kind of wanted to compare it to the Joker at times, but it was not the Joker. It was a very, very different kind of movie. It almost starts off like a horror movie in a way, right? Like you could have just taken the Riddler and then put the pig mask over him, and it was just like like Jigsaw in a way. That was kind of what I thought.
There's also some notes of Michael Myers in there as well. Apparently that was on purpose. And sometimes the Riddler even has like those stinger cues, the like, like that kind of thing, like when he pops up, or when he emerges from the shadows or whatever. So there is some moments that felt legitimately scary, I will say. And it's mostly just about that whole detective aspect of Batman's personality, which we
never really got to see too much at all
before, mostly in The Dark Knight.
Detective movie.
Gonna take ballistics off a shattered bullet?
No. Fingerprints.
I mean, Batman's using everything in his arsenal. When in his relationship with Jim in this one, I loved it. I mean, it didn't seem like they were like friends, but they were really trying to help each other to get to the bottom of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I hope that they make this into a trilogy or something, because the characters, they got something good here.
They respect each other, and it is going to be a trilogy. That was part of Matt Reeves's whole plan when he came into this. But yeah, there's a lot of, and I'm not saying anything here that nobody else has said. It's like Seven meets Zodiac meets Silence of the Lambs meets Batman. Batman's the last one on that list. You'll see what I mean by that later. But yeah, it feels like a Batman story, and not like one we've ever seen before, though. And the Riddler is legitimately scary, like I mentioned, and he wears a mask. He is killing people in a similar way to Zodiac. He leaves ciphers behind just like Zodiac did. And he is taunting the police just like Zodiac did as well. So it's all very cool. It's a really interesting way to look at that character. And yeah, so I think, and no disrespect to Zoe Kravitz, but I think her Catwoman is, it's middle of the ground. It's not the greatest we've ever seen, which I think is Michelle Pfeiffer, but it's certainly not the worst we've ever seen either.
Which is Anne Hathaway.
It's Halle Berry. That's the worst we've ever seen.
We just talked about her, and I already pushed her out of my memory. Just let me explain. Damn it! I already pushed her out of my memory.
He was.
And if anybody in the comments can tell me why her name is Patience Phillips in that fucking movie and not Selena Kyle.
And because she's not Selena Kyle. In fact,
just some random
in the movie,
offshoot.
She's like, in the movie they have a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer in it as Catwoman. Like,
I haven't seen this movie since it came out. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I've never seen it, and I know that.
Really?
So yeah, I refused. But yeah, there's a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer in it, and it's like she is trying to she's like a new Catwoman that's trying to learn after the old who has died. Don't even get me started. But Anne Hathaway was pretty wooden in the performance as well. Didn't really bring anything in particular to it. Zoe Kravitz brings things to it, for sure. Don't get me wrong, but she didn't stick with me in the same way that Michelle Pfeiffer did. And in conclusion about the cast list, Andy Serkis, we agreed with that on that point, that he there should have been more
utilized.
Very underutilized.
He was good.
We'll get into specifics about that in the spoiler review, but yes, he was very underutilized. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Michael Giacchino, who is the composer of this movie. So
the music is awesome.
Was very cool. And here's a little tidbit of a fact for you. He actually wrote this entire score before the movie was done shooting. And in fact, if I remember the interview with Matt Reeves correctly, he wrote the entire score before a single shot was even filmed of this movie.
Stuff. On this movie, Michael's love of Batman is like mine. I mean, this is our 5th movie together. Yeah. And he said, I want to do something that we haven't done. I want to write the themes before you shoot, so you have them when you're shooting. So that I played that music for Rob to get him into character. He really felt like it really connected the melancholy of that beautiful sort of the Bruce Wayne theme and the intensity of the Batman theme. And so then when you start putting it together, when I was working with my editors, I was like, well, we should just try different things. And you try those themes, because now, unlike usually what happens is you temp music in. Here we had the score to a very large degree. And so
they had it with them on set to, sort of set the reference tone of the scenes. And I don't think that there's much else to say about it. I found it in general to not quite be what I was expecting it to be. I had my hopes up a little bit too much, I think. And
I think this is a pattern I've noticed with you. Your hopes are always really, really high for new movies, it seems.
Not always, but a couple of the things we've talked about, yes. Like Halloween Kills, that's the highest that my hopes will ever be for anything ever, is a Halloween movie, especially when it's, you know, preceded by something so phenomenal, right? And Texas Chainsaw, I really have no excuse. Netflix did that to me. And for this one, I'm like, it's Batman, you know? I live for Halloween and I live for Batman. That's my life right there. So yeah, not always are my hopes super high, but definitely it was for this. And sometimes it gets met, like Spider-Man No Way Home, and exceeded tenfold, and sometimes it falls short of that.
Evil dies tonight! Evil dies tonight! Evil dies tonight!
So, yeah, I don't know.
I disagree with Brandon here, people. I like this movie quite a bit.
I have to see it again to really get my thoughts fully together. I'll be seeing it Saturday, so hopefully I have more of a clear picture of this movie after that. And it's not that I don't like it. I really like it. I think it's great. It just has a terrible third act. So it's a 3-hour long movie that falls apart in the last hour, unfortunately. Like
which is why
all they had to do is just stick the landing. That's all. The first 2 hours are incredible. And I don't think that they quite stick the landing. So that's it.
That's all, folks.
I guess we'll send you on your merry way, everyone. And, you know, keep an eye out for our spoiler review. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Bye, everybody.
It's coming.
Bye.
And it's going to be coming soon.
Unvengeance.